So these writing prompts are pretty versatile. You can use them in a lot of different ways. I'm going to walk you through kind of some of the ways that I use it in my room, and also kind of give you a few tips and tricks. So really importantly, make sure you also watch the video on adding assignments to Google Classroom, because no matter what you choose to do when you share these with your students, whether it's as a whole resource or as individual prompts, you're going to need to follow along with that to make sure that you are providing it to your students in a way where they get their own copy. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you click this bright blue button right here that makes a copy of the prompts. So right here, make a copy. And now you'll have a copy in your drive. So if you go into your drive, you'll be able to access a copy of this at all times. Now, what I suggest is that you make further copies of this resource if you want to make any changes. So one of the things that I do is I usually just share this entire document with my students, and then if we are doing it for journaling, I'll say, okay, we're doing prompt number 1 today. Okay, we're doing prompt number 2 today. And that way I don't have to worry about sharing individual prompts and having them open assignments every single time. So if you share the whole file with them, then once they make a copy of it through Google Classroom, or if you share it just straight out like I did with you, then they can access it in their drive quickly. So if you do want to share just one writing prompt, so let's say you're doing the whole writing process again with writing prompt number 2, what I would do is I would make a copy, and we'll just title it writing prompt 2, or the name of the writing prompt. And then what you can do is you can delete all of them except for number 2, which was summer memory. And there you go. And you can share it out this way through Google Classroom with your students. Another thing that I usually get asked is, where do students write their responses? So you can do this a couple different ways. If you want them to, they can add in their own slides. Now this will look different if they have an iPad or another device that's not an actual computer, but they can add a new slide pretty easily, and then you can have them title it and move around the text boxes and so forth and write their responses here. You can also tell them just to make a one text box if that's all you want, is one big text box. And I know it seems like, okay, that's going to be a lot of work and time to have students duplicate slides and create text box, but once they get used to doing that, it'll take them seconds. Another thing you can do is you can have them write their responses in Google Docs. If you want to just have a doc of them journaling, you can have them writing it out on paper. If you're kind of a hybrid, you want them still writing, handwriting things. And another thing that you can do is you can also have them writing it as a blog post if you're using blogs in your classroom. So there's a lot of different options for how to have them actually respond to these prompts. And they can be short responses, or like I said, you can have them respond in an entire essay if you're doing an entire unit on that prompt. So they're pretty versatile. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. I'd love to answer your questions. And thanks again for getting this resource.